decision.
19-6, Iowa leads Iowa State after 150. We've had 25 points. We're only halfway through the meet. And here we go at 158. Kelly Ward ranked #1 for Iowa State, wrestling against Jed Brown of Cedar Rapids. He's 9-6-1. Ward is 23-3. The Iowa State team is favored here, although Jed Brown is another one of these surprising boys from Hawkeye land. Ward.
Both boys now are just looking for setups, kind of looking for some upper body moves maybe, or to drop in there on a single or double.
Now both boys are wrestling bare-legged here, and neither one is wearing knee pads. Iowa has more stripes, I think, on the side.
Just a reverse spin through on behalf of Kelly Ward. He may turn that into a takedown. He's got that arm and shoulder up there pretty high, but he's taking it across the body, so no point scored.
Couldn't quite hack it. We're down to about a minute.
There it is again, the same move, just a reverse spin, sometimes called the old Russian spin. And
underarm spin there.
Make her work for the 2-point takedown. Off the mat they go.
2-0 with 55 seconds left.
Here's our movie right now. Notice how he just spins through in that arm, and of course he takes it over the far side. He didn't score the takedown off of this particular one, but he sure made it look tough. It just gives you the way that it's executed. He did a nice job of it over at the mat's edge and scored the 2 later.
Live action with 50 seconds left. Ward, who is in the position of advantage even though he's on the bottom, now on the top again, leads 2-0. Kelly Ward. One national magazine has him rated first, the other second, but I think they both mean that he's first. He beat his only competition, Zilberberg, his major competition. It's 2-1 as Jed Brown comes out.
This Brown looks to be pretty tough physically. There's that same move again, spin through, and looks like he might score 2. There it is.
Yes.
Notice how close they are to the mat's edge.
That looks like something new that he's working on.
Here it is right here. Notice he comes out that back door, reverse spin, and there it is. He's on top for the 2-point takedown.
4-1. He's worked it 3 times, turned 2 into takedowns. 15 seconds left in the first period.
Kelly was working behind the arms there. He didn't lose anything off that roll attempt on behalf of Jed Brown.
Boys, you're both not doing anything. You got to move out too. First wrestler.
That's a double warning for stalling. I'll say this for Spike Israel. He'll warn anybody. You better not slow down or he'll put the fist up. Now you see
Brown was trying to sit out position out there, but to no avail.
4-1 at the end of the first period.
Choice, Iowa State. Iowa State takes down.
As we understand, it's a crowd of 13,000 people here in Hilton Coliseum. And they've been up and excited quite a few times so far, even though Iowa State has won only 1 match in the first 5.
Stand up to a sit out, turn in, and nice counter on behalf of Jed Brown on that sit out. Looked like he locked his hands under there though. And he called it. There it was.
Got 1-point technical violation.
That's a point against Jed Brown for locking hands.
Here's our maneuver right here. Notice how he comes into the sit. He makes a nice counter move with that sit out. Now watch when they come back down to the mat here. There's that. Well, it's okay to lock the hands there in the stand-up position, but when he came down to the mat, he kept them locked. Consequently, it was a technical violation, 1 point.
It's 6-1 after the escape and the technical violation. Ward leads Jed Brown.
I might mention here, they're locking the hands from an advantage position on the feet. No problem, no violation. But once they go to the mat, he's got to release that lock, and that's what happened. He didn't release it, cost him 1.
For the 4th time, he used the underarm spin. And he got the 2-point takedown. That's 3 out of 4 and bad.
He controls that arm and just reverse spins under it, kind of like with kind of a duck under combination, and controls that arm and shoulder and turns it into 2.
8-1 is the score.
Jed Brown looks like he'd like to make that sit out work for 1, but Kelly is able to stave that off real well.
You're stalling on the top.
Stalling against Kelly Ward on top.
Here comes our move here right now. If you watch, there it is, beautifully done. It was a good view of it too. He just spun underneath that arm, controlled that near arm real well, and then spins around behind to complete the move for 2 points.
Ward has been warned twice, and this time it cost him a point. Jed Brown gets an escape, makes it 8-3.
Just a step down, goes around for two by Kelly, made that look real easy. Notice how he caught the head down on behalf of Brown, made it easy to go around behind.
10-3 is the score. 1:30 left in the second period.
So Brown's not doing a lot on the bottom. I wouldn't be a bit surprised he gets called for stalling pretty quick. That was more or less of an intentional release. Kelly more or less turned him loose, looking for an opening.
10-4. Ward has a potential point of riding time, and he goes in on the leg.
That could be
dangerous.
Dangerous there. He may call potential. No, I don't think so. Looked like maybe the knee could have gotten twisted there for a potentially dangerous call, but no point scored yet.
You can hear Spike Israel saying it's still even. Now it's 2. That makes it 12-4. Last minute of the second period.
Here we go right now. We'll see some action. Notice how Brown comes in, but he just wards him off, blocks that, counters that near arm and head, goes around behind on the snap down counter for 2. So Ward picks up another easy 2-point takedown.
Harold Nichols, Iowa State's coach. 52 seconds left, 12-4. The man on top, Ward, leads. Ward of Iowa State, although his team trails 19-6 after 150 pounds. Brown stands up. Ward has the traction behind, now decides to let him go, and it's 12-5.
That was from a sit out to a stand-up escape on behalf of Brown. Made it work for 1.
29 seconds, 28.
At this point, I'm sure Kelly would like to work up a major decision by scoring another takedown here or so if he can.
We had a shot of the Iowa bench a minute ago. Jay Robinson over there with Dan Gable and a lot of the people who make up the Iowa wrestling program.
In the middle.
The last 5 seconds are ticking off in the second period.
In the middle.
At the end of the second period, it's 12-5. Iowa State's Kelly Ward leading Jed Brown, 158 pounds. There are a couple of ducks that showed up for the meet.
I believe those are the Disney characters, as I understand it, from Adventureland that are up here to kind of help out tonight. So that's been a lot of enjoyment for the fans prior to the meet getting underway.
Defensive stalling.
Now immediately there's a point for stalling against the bottom man. Off the whistle. And Kelly Ward is now leading 13-5. Each man has been stung twice that way. Ward on top with a crossbody ride, working on it, trying to get...
I'll look for another. There's going to be some more stalling call here coming up shortly because there's not an awful lot going on underneath. He's got that near leg scissored pretty high, pretty well, controlling the hips. Got that near arm bar. Now there it is.
And there it is. That's a warning for the bottom man. It's the third time and it costs another point. 14-5.
Next time's going to be a 2-point call. Notice how Ward's got that near arm barred real well, working behind the arms.
And Ward lets him up. It's 14-6. I'll tell you what, the thing that very fast stall calling does, it makes that bottom man take his medicine.
I'll say it does. One thing it surely does, it makes them hustle out in that mat.
Single leg.
They got to put some offense together.
Ward is in the leg again, and he got 2 more. With 1:50 left in the match, 17-6. He has a superior decision margin now, but I wouldn't be surprised if he'd like to build some more here.
Well, he may get another stalling call here pretty quick. That's going to be worth 2 points to him.
He's trying to get a cross face and maybe a little cradle action here for a minute. Now he's going back to the tight waist and the arm. 1:30 left. Out of bounds. Now here's Dan Gable's questioning something at the bench.
The last one had been 2 because they had locked hands.
Right.
Locked hands.
Right. Because of 2. Yeah.
There's a question because of the locked hands. That last one should have been 2.
That locked hands was a technical violation, so that makes it a 2-point call. You know what the next one is.
And you know that, as a matter of fact, Dan Gable was over at the bench on that. I don't know whether they called his attention to it or whether he called attention, even though it's against his man. 1:20 left. And escape, and back goes.
Then he goes back on that single. He splits the legs, goes in for 2 more.
Now, Jed Brown cannot do anything but struggle here because he has to move or he's disqualified.
That's right. And Kelly's, the best thing for him to do is to carry the fight to him because he could maybe get the disqualification. I don't think he can score the fall on him, but if he, Jed Brown, of course, in the bottom, should continue to move to stay away from that disqualification call.
That's it.
There it is.
That's it. A disqualification for stalling.
Here comes our move here. Notice that goes in on a deep single right there. Turns and splits the legs. A good takedown by Kelly Ward. He gives a two-pointer. And just shortly thereafter, the disqualification on the stalling. 6-14 points for Iowa State.
Well, Iowa State has won 2 on disqualifications. That's the first time I think I can remember seeing 2 disqualifications in the same meet.
Well, it's been consistent all the way through, and you could almost predict that the way that things had been going.
Well, now it's 19-12, and let's see who's going to wrestle for Iowa. Mike Deanna is coming out.